bad or anything. He's just expecting something different on the table. So we'll see how that plays over. But I mean, you can see he's in form. He's right up there on the rankings, and probably a big match being watched by Marcus Chinakhov right here.
Definitely. Like we mentioned earlier, there are so many players in contention here for Team Europe, and I don't think it's happened for quite a while to have so many different players, and fantastic players, I may add. You've got Ralph Souquet, and a few of the others. I'm just going to allow Mike to come in and voice these interviews.
Yeah, we've got some interviews at last. So what Ruslan was saying is last year I spent a bit more time at the pool table than before, maybe in the last 10 years. As a result, I feel much better when playing. I also try to pay more attention to straight pool right now, and recently I had some decent runs. Last week these were 211, 223 and 244.
Well, so he feels pretty confident in himself.
Thankful, that's all I can say. Thankful,
and again, that Euro Tour, it's so tough for him to be so highly ranked. You know, he's had a great year, and he wants to continue it.
It's definitely an honor to be on the team again.
But Marcus Chinakhov, he's going to have one heck of a job when it comes to those two wild card picks. But you know, you got Kachi, like you said, Ralph Souquet up there on the points. Filler's already in, so that's a blessing, I think, for them. I mean, Filler's on the outside also with all these other guys. Now you really have some trouble. You got Jason Shaw.
2019. Мы ждали этого события целый год, чтобы взять реванш противостояния с командой Америки. Итак, давайте поприветствуем участников первого одиночного матча сегодняшнего дня. Команда Америки. Билли Thorpe.
Well, you said you play yourself a little bit, right, Emily?
И наша национальная команда, команда России, Руслан Чинаkhov.
You know, you might say a lack of experience would bode a little better for our opposition, maybe. But those guys are still great players. You know, like Kachi was a rookie last year, and he had a couple mistakes, and the shot clock we thought might affect him a little more.
Yep.
But what's a year's time do for a guy like that, who's not only a great talent but a sharp man as well? He's not going to sit over there and not learn how to adapt.
I mean, after his performance last year, he would be even more dangerous coming into this year because he's just had that first-year experience, and he's not going to want that to happen again as such.
And you can't expect him not to be on many Mosconi Cups through his career. Of course, it's always tough, and you never know, but you know, Neil's fan, how well he's played over the years, and I don't know. I mean, who would I want to be on Europe? That's a tough question. Those are my friends as well, but even though we're going to be fighting them, I guess, I don't know. You might just...
So you got Filler.
Yeah, we
got...
Come on,
who's your other four? Come on, I'm putting you on the spot, Jeremy.
If I was Marcus, or
no.
if I was the opposition?
No, as you, Jeremy Jones, vice-captain
just
for Team USA, you want them to win. Who do you want Team Europe to be?
Oh, Lord. Out of the realistic guys,
the
guys that can realistically make it is what you're asking, I guess.
What you do is open the WPA rankings and just get someone like in the second 100, you know?
Yeah, right, but I don't think that's what she's asking me, so she's made it pretty tough on me right here. So maybe a rookie, you know, which Mosconi likes rookies. It's always a great story.
So maybe like a Ruslan or Fedor.
Right. And just because I think a rookie can mature as the matches go as well, but they usually have a day or two or a match or two that the atmosphere can get to them.
Sure.
Just like a Tyler Steyer last year. The first 2 days he was great. And then the second 2 days he wasn't bad, but we saw a few more mistakes at times, and he was a rookie there. And, you know, when I was a rookie, I was the same way. I played really good a couple of the days, and then a couple of days I'd like to have back. That's just the nature of the beast. So maybe something like that, or... you can say like a Ralph Souquet, but he stays in great shape. So it's even though he's an older man, but you'd think, all right, maybe the older guy. I don't know. So I'm going to try and get on from that question.
I knew you were trying to do that. Anyway, Billy, to break right now. This is what Jeremy wants to say.
Ralph's got a very good
cue ball. Okay, again, this is big for Billy to get a nice shot to get started, and not because you might think Ruslan is a favorite or anything, but just for himself. And you're tough, by the way. Emily.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just interested. That's all.
Yeah. Those guys are going to be giving me the hard eye when I see them next, I guess, but that's okay.
No, they love you.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Emily, I wonder if we ever get to have a spot for fan voting for the Mosconi Cup.
There is a fans vote.
For both teams, actually.
Well, there is a fans vote for the one
for
of
the Masters,
matches.
yeah.
Yes, and I won't disclose which match we've said that it's going to be for this year, but we do like to introduce the fans' choice, and we do actually do it for our Whirlpool Masters event. We allow for a fan's choice for one of the players, and it was Chris Milling that got it last year, well, earlier this year, and I was actually at the Derby in January, and it was when the votes were coming in, and Chris was sitting there, and I'm going, oh no, I don't think you've made it, Chris, and he's sweating and he wanted to get in, but it's a good part of the tournament to have.
Oh, okay.
Undercut it quite a little.
Yeah, and I think Billy's a little affected by the shot clock right now. He's a little worried about that. He's picked up the pace a little bit.
Like he's rushing around the table.
Yeah, and when you do that, well, your stroke tends to get a little quicker. Heart rate, of course, gets a little quicker along with it. Again, he's a fighter, so that's a big quality of Billy, and very, very much a big talent.
When the guys are practicing, like this afternoon, for instance, or even in the practice room at Mosconi Cup last year, are they doing that with a shot clock in place as such, or do you just?
Oh yeah, we did some of it. Yeah.
Okay, so Billy Thorpe takes the first rack, and it's 1-0 so far in the second match of the Dream Challenge, evening 2. And it will be Ruslan to break up next.
You know, I've been told that Ruslan doesn't feel that good, probably caught some kind of flu. It was like that yesterday already.
The weather has been so cold out here, though. I've definitely
we're having
my big coat.
We're having some kind of Arctic cyclone here, so the weather is like 6 to 10 degrees Celsius colder than it is expected to be. Like in Fahrenheit, we're having 40s instead of like 53 or 59.
Sure. And so just to touch base on the Whirlpool Masters next year, we will be announcing details very soon on dates, venues, and players, so keep your eyes and ears peeled to the Whirlpool Masters Facebook page.
You know, and for Billy, he's so eager as well. He's such an eager young man, so that sometimes will play on the pace of your play and affect you and make you get a little quicker. Well, a nice break off here where you can see just about like ball in hand on the 1. He's got a little work with the 6 and the 8, but with the 4 near, it shouldn't be too difficult. Of course, I know Michael's going to bring up that 2-9 combination that's looming, huh, Michael?
I like running out from here.
Yeah, me too.
That's an open rack.
Now, one thing that Americans did real well yesterday was winning those lags, those all-important lags, not only to get started, but if we find a hill-hill match, you definitely want to be breaking. Well, Russia won the lag in the first match, but Billy Thorpe came back.
I see Ruslan playing the 6-8 combo, though.
Well, the 4's so near. I may look at playing short side on the 6. There's nothing wrong with that. He came across the table. It's gotten a little elevated, a little straight, so definitely there's going to be, I think, the 6 all the way up long. Because the key is you have to realize the 7 at first will say, oh, I got to get all the way down there. But you really don't. Anywhere near the side pocket area is easy to cut the 7 in, and the 8's so handy. That's a lot of what pressure pull is about, is recognizing really how easy the balls are laying. Okay, so a bit of a missable ball here. And it's the type when you miss it, you usually hit it a little to the left side of the pocket, like that. And the reason is you have to consciously think of how easy the ball's cut on those clean conditions. It's an actual hair thicker aim on most shots.
Is there any way to alter the ball's path just a little? I mean, the object ball, maybe with the help of following the cue ball or vice versa?
Well, or slower speed. You know, speed makes the ball cut easier also. So anytime you play a slower speed, it's going to be a little bit more natural of what you're used to. But when you're adding speed, you really have to be conscious, aware. And again, Ruslan didn't get much time at the table shooting balls yesterday. So he did fine with these shots that were shorter, but the ones that had to travel a little further, just like the 6-ball, well, he missed it.
So a nice opportunity for Billy here to take the second rack.
Yeah, and breaking off in the third.
The opponent's serve, to break the opponent's serve.
Yeah. And it's weird, like, one thing that I'll influence with Billy, and I think he'll get better with it as the tournament goes, is you really want to use the shot clock. Even though it's an alarming thing, you want it to be your friend overall. Like when I played, I was almost always it was 35 seconds then, but I was almost always addressing the ball somewhere between 14, 15, and 16 seconds.
Sure.
And so there's something there that he needs to work on, I think, a little bit, and we'll get after that.
It'll be a nice confidence boost for him to take this second match down
and for the lead for the rest of the guys coming up late after him.
Yeah, to bring the overall score level. And so here at the Dream Challenge, it's a race to 10 overall. So we're playing across 3 days. We're into the second day of the tournament. Currently 4-3 to Russia.
And we are guaranteed to have the day 3.
Yes, something that we used to always worry about, the Mosconi Cup. But not this year, Jeremy.
That's right. That's right.
And that's November the 25th to the 28th in Las Vegas.
As you can read on US team T-shirts.
Yeah. And tickets will be sold out for this event. I can guarantee that.
Man, those balls did not break well at all. It's the first time really that we've seen them stay just really grouped on one end of the table. A shot that Ruslan's, you know, some distance here, but a fairly decent sized pocket with the one so near. And this is where maybe Ruslan, okay, he's coming up with the tip a little bit, and that's huge.
The way these balls are positioned right now kind of reminds me of the result Ronnie Alcano was getting back there in Manila during the World Championships final.
When he won it, you mean?
Yeah.
The year he won it?
Yeah.
It was unbelievable the way he played. I was there. It was incredible.
This is the highest I've seen Ruslan's heart rate.
Right? Yeah, good call.
Yeah, spot on.
I know, I love this heart rate thing.
Okay, nice cue ball control there. Fell a little straight, so he may have to draw the cue ball back here in the position it's in, or go forward. Nothing wrong with forward at all. And that's another thing the players need to recognize on the slick table, is if the natural path is taking you to a short side position, that's okay, because the path of the cue ball is really the most difficult thing about playing these tables.
And I suppose that Ruslan must be feeling pretty good about these kinds of short side positions, given the information he was telling us about in the pre-match interview about practicing more straight pull.
Yeah.
Just imagine, guys, once again, during the last week, he came up with 2 runs over 200 balls.
Yeah.
How solid is that?
Very. Well, he's a solid player anyways. And
yeah, his personal best before that was like 203, and now it is 243.
yeah, and that's just probably scratching the surface, not putting months of straight pull in, and just like you said, probably a couple weeks of it, right?
Yeah, maybe he's trying to prepare for American straight pull championship coming up.
Yes, that'll be right there in Virginia the week before the international. So on the board here for actually his first game 1 as a player here in our Dream Challenge.
A nice little smile from him there, just to reflect on that.
Yeah.
Well, surprisingly, Ruslan's got a pretty bad balance in terms of matches and recs won and lost. Like it's 2-7 in terms of matches and -16 in terms of recs, like 24-40. Could you believe it?
Yeah, that's hard to believe, but you know, we've seen that in.
He's also 0-2 in singles.
We've seen that in team play sometimes. What you might consider the top player on your team and it can go like that for a few years. You know, a lot of people have given Shane a lot of grief through the years because of sometimes he didn't have the best record, and it's just, you know, a short race sometimes, a lot of pressure.
I felt that
everybody's aiming for you. Like, who's the biggest target to beat on the American team? SVB.
And I felt that with Shane as well, he's had so much pressure on his shoulders to, and this sounds bad, but to carry Team USA as well.
Yeah, and I agree.
It's tough for him for that, and I think last year was the first time in a long time where we actually saw them all pull together and act as one.
Sure.
But it was great that Shane could take that winning shot to win the tournament.
Well, he's a guy that tries hard. So that's another thing. When he saw everyone else trying so hard, I think that really boasted well for him being able to continue to perform. Okay, a
the two ball got pretty covered by the three.
A difficult rollout situation, believe it or not. Certainly can't roll out to the combo. You don't expect him to play the jump shot, maybe. It's not the worst thing in the world. Hard to roll out in a tactical situation too, though, because the 6 he can't roll out on the side rail. It's easy to put the cue ball behind the 6.
In case he goes for the jump right now, I believe that the result is pretty much unpredictable.
Yes, it is. This is one thing you hate to use your extension on the rollout position.
It's 137 for Ruslan. His heart rate is almost double compared to yesterday.
I know, we were saying he's taken a sedative yesterday. Now it seems he's got the opposite. Although I feel like attaching a heart rate monitor to like myself, like during the Mosconi, just to see what that's like, because it's just like anyone in any situation.
Okay, with a 2-1 lead, I think Billy should attack on this 4-1 on this 2-4 combo. It is Ruslan broke off here, so the worst Billy can be is at 2 apiece, right? And breaking. And this is where you got to make some differences in your game at times, meaning don't let the table or the conditions tell you don't like it. Like if we were in a regular tournament, would he shoot this 2-4 combination or not? Or is what's he going to do? Cross this over and run the cue ball maybe? Okay, a little contact there. Uh-oh, a 2-9.
Talk me through the 2-9.
Well, it's not sitting great for the combo, and it's not sitting great for the kiss either. The kiss, you really have to hit the 2 thin
I like
with a lot
the
of
kiss
spin.
much better, hands down.
Yeah, but it's a lot thinner than you think, and he has
Yeah, it's not the easiest of them shots.
And he needs side spin to throw the 9 in, so you'd have to address this thin on the 2 with a lot of left English.
You know what? Good news on the kiss shot for me is like the 2 ball is going to travel all the way
I don't
down
know.
the table.
I mean, you could play it thick and try to kiss it in, but a realistic way to make it, Michael, is you just have to ignore the 2 and chop the kiss shot. All right, he's going to try and lay the cue ball underneath the 6, banking the 2 up into the 8 probably or something. Okay, that's a nice percentage play right there. Percentage play right there, and that's that one pocket and bank pool knowledge of Billy Thorpe's. Not a shot you play a lot of times in 9-ball pool. And with the 7-8 there, Ruslan's got some opportunity to kick softly at this 2-ball, or mildly, you might say. Yeah, he's got to go this route, I believe. I think he can see a piece of the 2, but he really can't do anything with it.
So and the corner pocket is there also in case of a...
No rail yet. No rail yet. No rail yet. That's ball in hand there. Did the referee not recognize that? Yeah, Ruslan told him. Yeah, the referee's got to be on top of that one.
Fair play to Ruslan for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have done the same thing, but
I wouldn't have.
Kudos to you, Jeremy.
Well, I mean, you got to call fouls on yourself.
Yeah, of course.
You know, we've all not recognized it sometime, though. I've been a player and fouled, and I didn't recognize I fouled and made an honest mistake. But a little unfortunate for Ruslan not catching a rail with the 2-ball. He made a nice effort trying to get the snooker. Now, one good thing for Billy right here is the 4 is going to have some travel on it after he makes the 6, but I think it may go into the 9, which is kind of going to hold him for position.
Billy is facing an off-angled combo here.
I think the 4 is going to get into the 9, though, Michael, maybe, which may help him out, actually, kind of holding position on the 4.
So just ride that luck, Jeremy.
What's that?
Ride the luck.
Oh, it might. Yeah, it might make the 9, but I'm thinking of just he kind of overcut it. So I was just thinking of continuing the run out. There's that nice fluid stroke that we're so used to seeing from Ruslan. And the key to getting that nice calm routine is even when you're addressed with an easy shot, you need to use that routine. That way it becomes very automatic that you don't get in a rush.
It did feel like Billy was just rushing around the table a little bit, just exactly like we were saying in the previous rack.
Yeah, and I think he's tried to slow it down a little bit, but, you know, we all have our different personalities. And
of course.
Oh, okay, a little on the top side of the pocket there, but... And not only to make some mental errors, I haven't seen that really happen with Billy, but anybody, like when I teach back home, if you get picked up in your routine, usually the stroke gets a little picked up as well.
So you see the stats for last 2 years. It's 2 wins and 7 losses for Ruslan, going from day 1. And you know, guys, we got several requests from you viewers to cover more about the players' equipment, the cues and the tips they are using. So
I'll take that one because I know it really well. No, go on, Jeremy.
Yeah, sure. So I think provided that we are not going to have Billy and Ruslan today anymore in the pit, I think this match is just about time to tell about them.
Okay, Billy hit those really well. Got a little bit of a nasty kiss on the cue ball, but he still has a shot on the 1. It's a bit of a long one. Now the thing is, can he hold position for the 3, or does he kind of have to slam the cue ball to the side rail and out because of the 5 ball? Okay, I think he can pinch it. So this is all about that nice, long, sweet stroke. And it's a good shot, and that's a big shot for Billy. That's clean, hit it well.
Heart rate nice and high as well.
Right. But then this is what I mean, like these easy ones. He knows what he's going to do here, right? But this is the time you still get into your routine, because it's going to matter on the other shots when big moments come up.
Sure.
It's just like a pre-shot routine for golfers. You know, basketball players, they shoot 500 free throws a day or a week or whatever, but they still go through the routine of putting their feet down, making a few dribbles, even though they're pretty much hangers for those guys.
And it's still early days in this match so far, so it's obviously 2 apiece.
And I think he's already starting to calm down a little bit. I'm pretty sure a few of the guys on the sidelines have probably made a few comments, and he trusts them. That being, you know, Coach and Sky and Shane, whomever it is.
Billy didn't fall perfect on the 5, but he is pretty okay here.
Yeah, the talent level with Billy is super high, and a lot of people would realize he's still a very young man. Okay, don't worry about getting too close here. That way you don't overrun. Okay, that's perfect. And that's what you do. You sacrifice that extra foot of distance on the shot just to make sure the cue ball doesn't get away from you.
And it's been a nice feeling here for Billy to take this rack. And now leading 3-2 against Ruslan.
So speaking of players' equipment, the cue Billy is playing with his Q-Tech, obviously, as you could see, as one of his sponsor patches. It's 12.5 millimeters, and the playing tip of choice is Technodad.
What's it like, guys, that, you know, for players to switch cues and, you know, different brands, do they have to, is there like a special amount of time that they have to really sort of develop and sort of grow into it, or is it quite an easy thing to switch over?
It can be very difficult, yes. Now, Billy's with the carbon fiber shaft, and he played with another carbon fiber shaft before, but they're all a little different for sure. They all have their own beliefs on what's best, so they make their product accordingly, and definitely something that takes a little while. But there was a bit more of a standard way to make things years ago, believe it or not, with the maple more than, there's so much technology out now that we talked about with equipment, that some actually suits certain people's technique better than others, depending on what they play with. Okay, can he get all the way down for the 2? If he does, with that angle, he has to get all the way down past the 4, so bit of a danger here. Yeah, I would have to take my extension here as well, and I'd really have to entertain maybe not going offensive. Okay, he's trying to make that inside. Oh, he's going to put a lot on this, Michael. A lot of speed.
And left side English also.
Yeah, but it's not going to work out for him. He's going to get an edge of the 2, which I think is a little fortunate.
Just positioning it on the middle of the short rail, behind the 9 and the 8.
Yeah, but I think, like I said, he was a little fortunate not knowing that really probably wasn't going to work. He was trying to come 2 rails to the back of the 8 and 2 and break them up. And on this slick table, that shot's not really very possible. So he's still going to be in good position to have a little advantage here. Uh-oh. Okay, I think he may have let Billy have a piece of this 2 ball, and if he hasn't, he's done real well. Yeah, he's let Billy, I think, have a little piece.
I think a mouse just ran across the cameraman's foot then. That's why he just moved slightly.
Now, Billy, I think, is going to have to draw off the scratch here, Michael, maybe. If he can get a little edge of the 2, just kind of bank it up towards the 4 and draw to the side rail and try to come back behind the 8 and 9.
Do you like kicking it at 2?
Oh, well, I'm not in love with it, no.
Because the scratch is definitely on.
It is on, but you still have to, just like I said, draw out of it. You got to draw out of this scratch, what you're talking about. I think he should handle this.
Yeah, nice call, Jeremy.
Yeah, he's not going to like it. I mean, that's all he could do, and it wasn't really much of a miss hit or anything, but now Ruslan's got to be aware of the jump cue here when he comes back with the, he doesn't want the 2 to roam over the side pocket. He wants the 2 to be up behind the 4 also.
And once again, the 8 and the 9 are in play.
He's left Billy a pretty reasonable kick, though, I think. Can he get to the side rail by the 8 or no? With a little swerve, maybe? Well, maybe not.
Does it look like so?
Maybe not. He may have to jump kick this ball. Oh, he's going 2 rails up the table by the 7. A lot of right spin. Give it time to take. If he overhits it, he'll miss it in between the 2 and 4. All right, he gave it time to take. That was a great shot. He needs the 2 to come up.
Watch out, that scratch.
Yeah, it's unlucky.
Yeah, it's unfortunate though.
Now, interesting to me, does the 8 pass the 9, Michael? From my gut says no.
Mine says yes.
Really? Well, an 8-9 carom shot is there, though.
Mine says
shot.
hungry. I'm joking.
Yours says time to eat. Okay, but he immediately was addressing the 7 ball. And I think that has something to do with either trying to open the 8-9 or get on a kiss shot for the 8-9. Did we have 2 hill matches yesterday, or just one between Serge and Skylar?
There were 2.
There were 2, I thought, and I think we're going to get more of them every day as we go.
And both were in singles.
Okay, you got a little bit of a look at the 8 there, so he got awfully thin on the 7, I'll tell you, to have to either address it with a lot of side spin, that being either left or right English.
Left, it seems to me.
Yeah. Okay, he got it thick. Now the cue ball may do him some favors. All right. And I think he did have to try and break out the 8-9, but I'm wondering if he really had to get. I think that was a bit of a mishit from the 5 to the 7, because you could handle a lot less angle and do the same thing, right? As far as breaking the balls out. Okay, big shot here to go just up and down the table. You want to catch 2 of the short rails. Oh, good stroke there. That was one of the better strokes. A little smoother through impact.
Rolls slightly far.
It did, but that's what happens actually. You get more out of the cue ball whenever you're a little sweeter with the swing. Now he's going to have to contact the 9, so he's got to make some calculation there, and it's probably very light. If he overhits this, he's going to have to bank the 9. Yeah, so he's got a cut shot though. Sometimes hard to pull that trigger when you're trying to hit the ball so light. I like him taking a little bit of time.
I was going to say, don't rush.
Yeah, exactly. Great shot. Great shot. And Billy Thorpe has put himself in a prime position now, getting to break the balls twice to win this match.
And so Billy increases his lead over Ruslan.
There's my wife in the background there. I think she's got a new outfit on. She said she went shopping today.
With your money, Jeremy.
Yeah, right. Maybe she found some rubbles on the ground around Moscow.
That's a good find.
We can't help it, us women. We just love shopping.
No, I get it.
Love a good handbag.
Absolutely. And the 2 of us, it never was a big deal for me, obviously, by my attire most of the time.
I'm not taking fashion advice from you, Jeremy.
That's right. So at least there's just one of us, and, you know, she's much prettier than I am, that's for sure.
So Billy to break here.
And he's broke really well. Okay, corner ball down, the 1 caught the side, a kiss on the cue ball, so he's going to need a little help. Okay, so he's probably going to have to feather this 1 and try and track the cue ball all the way down table, maybe behind the 6 or behind the 5 and 9. The problem is he can't see enough of the 1 to get the 1 very safe, Michael. So it's all about the cue ball here.
What about going 2 rails into the 2?
Yeah, but the problem with that is you really threaten hitting the 7 trying to apply so much left spin, because you're going to deflect the cue ball a lot. So I like him just playing more straight up and down and get as much of the 1 as he can, trying to go behind the 5-9. Yeah,
and that is exactly what he is doing.
Yeah, he's hit it perfect too. Great shot.
Seems to be back in the rhythm here, Billy, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then sometimes it's just that one stroke that you feel like on that 7 ball in the last game, and you say to yourself, oh, there it is. You know, that's the one I'm looking for.
It would be a nice little confidence boost, I think, for him. He didn't obviously get on so well yesterday, and touch wood, Jeremy. Sorry, I don't want to jinx it, but.
Yeah. So Ruslan, is it the table with his mezcue and Zen soft tip?
Well, I think in Billy's defense a little bit, he was very fatigued. He just happened to get a little fatigued yesterday, and today is a little the opposite. I think he's tons of
energy.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So that was him trying to really predict that slide of the table, and very rarely do you underdo it.
And also looks like some help in English didn't help that much.
Right. But a lot of times you anticipate on that new felt the ball really spreading, especially with the top English. So it'll be interesting to see if Billy tries to play the 4 up long. We discussed that on these slick tables, that don't be afraid to play the ball down the rail. Normally you would certainly want to come up for the 4 in the same pocket, but you got to realize it's not hard to make balls on this table. The real concern is position play.
You need a slight angle on the 4.
Yeah, and if he recognizes that slight angle will carry him above the 6 easily, so he won't have to like punch across on the 4, I don't think.
And he's taken his extension here, Billy.
And a rake also.
A rake?
A rake.
I'm joking.
Yeah, crutch. Oh, he's falling straight. So he's going to have to make a test here on the 5. He'll probably go ahead and roll up all the way to the head string, just because the 7's there.
Look at his heart rate.
Yeah, it's up there, huh? That's the spot. But again, he's used his extension. But hey, you got plenty of time. Still 14 seconds left when he got down on the ball.
Going all the way forward with the cue ball.
Yeah, that looked about the spot. Oh, did he get there?
I guess he did.
Yeah, awfully close on getting there, I'll tell you. So this is where you just got to trust what you're looking at, make the stroke, and see what happens.
I'd like to see Team USA get a point here and go level. Obviously,
oh yeah.
Quite biased, I think everyone knows.
Great shot, a lot smoother there. So Ruslan, it looks like, still struggling to get them points, and I wouldn't say he played poorly. It was just a couple of things.
Well, once again, he doesn't feel that well. Maybe this is the reason.
Well, you know, he knows what his record is in the last couple of years, so that just adds pressure is all it does. And especially when he's in form, he expects to get points.
And Billy Thorpe about to take this last rack to bring USA level against Team Russia in the ABNbilliards Dreamchallenge. And a great boost here for Team USA as they're heading into the 3rd match of the evening.
And it is